No business like show business. Ugh. I don't do it as well as these people do at the Barn Theatre in Augusta. And we're with Betty Ragazzi, and she's the associate producer at the Barn Theatre. And she's going to tell us a little bit about how summer stock theater works and exactly how fast it does move and what it takes to make it look as good as it does. You're rehearsing right now for?
We're rehearsing in the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas that opens next Tuesday. And at night, we're playing Amadeus, which is a very special show starring Dale Helward and Aiello. And we're planning ahead on Mass Appeal. So in summer stock, you're almost always doing 3 shows at once, at least in your head. You do a lot of concentrated hard work.
Now, why was Amadeus such a special play? You were telling me a little bit about that before.
It was voted the best play of the year when it was done 2 years ago on Broadway. And it's probably one of the great plays of our generation. And we're the only summer stock company in the entire United States to be doing it. Because it's a very difficult play, but then it's also worth doing in that it's exciting and thrilling and I think rather different. Same man wrote it who wrote Equus, and you know how exciting Equus was.
Now, Best Little Whorehouse you did last year too, which is why they picked up the steps so quickly, you were telling me?
Yes, we played it for 2 weeks last summer, and it was such a hit that we wanted desperately to run it for about 2 more weeks, but couldn't because of leasing arrangements. But we got the rights again this summer, and we also have about 3/4 of the cast from last summer. So
and one original Broadway member, you were telling me too.
Yes, Becky Gelke is one of our very special actresses who comes back seasons periodically to work with us, and she was in the original Broadway production from the very beginning. And when we got the rights to Whorehouse, she could hardly wait to come back and star in Best Little Whorehouse, her Broadway show here.
And you have a lot of actors that are from New York and Hollywood here because there's something different about this theater than the others in the area, right?
Yes, we are an equity theater, which means equity is the union of the professional stage actor. So the actors that we have are professional actors who make their living in that business. They live in New York or Hollywood generally over the winter and work in either film, television, or on the stage. And during the summer months, many of them come back. Somebody like Jim Pritchett, for instance, was the doctor on televisions, The Doctors, for almost 20 years. Well, Jim started with us in 1960. And when he finished with the series, he said, I'd like to come back and do a show or 2. So he was here recently for The Music Man, and he is here again this summer for our second production of Best Little Whorehouse. He plays the sheriff, and he's just wonderful.
Now, with all these things in rehearsal and something going on and everything, how do you keep all the sets going? How do you keep up with what's being built?
You work a lot, and you work very fast, and you also schedule it. Most shows play 2 weeks, and most shows rehearse 2 weeks. When we get to a situation where a show plays a shorter run, then we have maybe 2 rehearsals going on at once. We'll rehearse 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, and if you happen to be in both, you're just very busy.
And busy they are. Now, all the staff at the Barn Theatre aren't professional theater people, but they are hoping that their experiences at the Barn Theatre will help them along that road.
We have really 3 parts to our company. We have our basic professional staff, we have our equity union actors, and then we have our apprentices, who are young people, most generally just about to graduate from college or recently have graduated, who want to go into the professional theater, generally as actors. And they serve a 2 to 3 year apprenticeship period, which they work with the staff in the shows. And eventually, if they are strong enough, and Jack, who is the producer, feels that they have really commercial possibilities, they are able to earn their union card. They become members of Actors Equity Association, which is the union of the professional stage actor.
And you were saying that some of the people in the scene shop are college students.
A good deal of them. We have a professional staff of about 3 who are full-time in that area. But a lot of the just general basic scenic work is done by the apprentices, because the apprenticeship covers not only acting, but it covers everything to do with the theater. I think it's because our feeling is that the best theater people are the people that know all about all departments. That's the way we've always felt about the theater. And it's interesting that so often your very best actors are also excellent technicians, excellent carpenters. It's strange, but it is true. If they're good in one field, they're generally good in another. And I think having a knowledge and a skill in the other fields makes them a better actor in a way, because they are more conscious of everything that's around them. And it's an appreciation, too.
As Betty mentioned, there are actors and actresses that come back every summer to the Barn Theater in Augusta. We spoke with the theater's director, Jack Ragazzi, as well as this young actor.
See any family resemblance here? This is another Aiello that's hanging out in Southwest Michigan these days. It's Joe Aiello, and he's one of the Barn Theater's stars. And you live in New York, is that right?
Yes, I live in New York now. Originally, I'm from California.
By the way, we're not any relation, even though we kind of do look a little bit alike.
Yeah.
What do you think? Anyway, this is Jack Ragazzi, and he's the director of the theater. And how's Amadeus going right now?
Oh, brilliantly. It's a marvelous show. It's really going fine.
And you direct all the shows here at the Barn Theater?
I direct about half the shows. That Wayne Lamb and I split the assignment usually. He's a choreographer, so he does the musicals, and I help him when he has tough books to work on. Other than that...
So it's a real kind of family environment here.
Big family this year.
And especially with actors like Joe coming back every year.
After year, after year.
After year, after year.
What do you do in California when you're not working here at the Barn Theater?
Well, I'm in New York.
Or New York. You said California and New York.
Well, I'm from California, and I now live in New York. And look for work. What do most actors do in New York? Audition. Look for work.
Have you ever had any other parts in New York, big parts that
And we're not talking Broadway, off-Broadway, and off-Broadway, yeah.
Said he hasn't been there that long.
No, I've just been there a couple of years. So
He will. I guarantee you.
Definitely.
The Barn Theater is in its 38th season of staging summer stock theater. And I think that Betty Ragazzi speaks for her husband as well as herself when she sums up her feelings.
How really lucky we are to be in a business where we are surrounded by people who want to be there and do the same thing we do. It's a real privilege.
For Accent, I'm Kathy Aiello.